By understanding the way our mind works, we've seen how we can learn and remember more easily. But what's surprising is that our mind can remember things without us even realizing it. It's this subconscious memory, or intuition, that can emerge in the most unexpected situations. Andy Kirk has worked as a fireman in Leicester for over 20 years. On the 5th of October 2001, he and his team were called to a fire at a disused bingo hall.
Well, it was a day like any other day. Everybody was all up for the fire call. We were all on the way to the call.
The fire was big, but Andy decided it was safe enough to send his crew into the building.
There was just smoke everywhere, absolutely everywhere. It was almost like somebody had thrown a light switch. The adrenaline was pumping.
After 5 minutes, Andy's team felt they were getting the fire under control.
We seemed to be getting somewhere. We seemed to be knocking the fire down slightly.
But then, for no apparent reason, Andy Kirk had a strange feeling.
I couldn't put my finger on it. I don't know what it was, but I was sure that something out of the ordinary was going to happen. I suddenly thought, it's time, I've got to get the lads out.
He told us that he wanted to withdraw.
Despite the protests of his team, Andy insisted they came out. It was just as well.
They were saying that they're okay and they'll carry on. And I said, no, you've got to come out. That's when all hell broke loose.
There was a very large rumbling sound.
It went from, which seemed to be just a normal fire, to one massive fireball which was chasing us out of the door. We were running out of the building, tripping over hose, breathing in the smoke.
It was just total chaos, really. I remember calling to them, really screaming to them, were they there, were they calling their names out.
Without warning, a huge explosion ripped through the building, bringing down the roof and destroying the walls. An area the size of a football pitch was ablaze, with flames shooting 40 feet into the air.
I'm sure if Andy hadn't pulled us out of the building at that time, then we would have been killed.
In the aftermath, investigators began to piece together what caused the explosion.
From a fire investigation point of view, we'll look at things in a clinical manner. We'll take photographic evidence, witness statements, put everything together, build a picture up of what actually happened.
They realized that Andy had saved his men from one of the most dangerous phenomena in firefighting, a backdraft. Backdrafts occur in enclosed fires when all the oxygen has been burnt up and the fire becomes explosively unpredictable.
Even with the protective equipment that we've got, the thermal radiation is so high that it's almost like being boiled in a bag.
But backdrafts are incredibly rare. So how on earth could Andy have known what was about to happen? His mind had recognized danger even though he wasn't consciously aware of the signs. Brain scientists think they know how this happens. There's a part at the front of our brain that's always scanning the world around us without our knowing it, comparing our immediate to our past experience. In Andy's case, it compared the fire in the bingo hall with every fire he'd seen before. In a flash, without Andy realizing, his scanning brain noticed three things that weren't quite right. Firstly, the colour of the smoke was very orange, unlike most fires. Secondly, air was rushing into the building when the doors were opened instead of out as usual. And finally, there was no sound. Normally, a fire crackles as it burns up oxygen. Andy's mind had compared these unusual signs with his previous experience of normal fires and sent him a warning signal. A feeling of uneasiness, an intuition.
It's taken a long time to reflect on the incident, and all these little tiny things that were happening at the incident, little snapshots of time and space that we were seeing, that I was registering subconsciously, gave me the feeling of uneasiness.
Listening to our intuition is a skill we're all able to use. Scientists believe that intuition is most likely to be right when you have an experience of a situation. So just because you can't explain a feeling doesn't mean that you should ignore it.